Zephaniah chapter 1. The word of Jehovah which came to Zephaniah son of Cushi, son of Gedaliah, son of Amariah, son of Hizkiah, in the days of Yoshiyahu, son of Ammon, sovereign of Yehudah. I shall snatch away all from the face of the earth, declares Jehovah. I snatch away man and beast. I snatch away the birds of the heavens and the fish of the sea and the stumbling blocks with the wrong, when I shall cut off man from the face of the earth, declares Jehovah. And I shall stretch out my hand against Yehudah and against all the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and cut off every trace of Baal from this place, the names of the idolatrous priest with the priests, and those bowing down to the host of the heavens on the housetops, and those bowing themselves, swearing by Jehovah, and swearing by Malcham, and those who turn away from following Jehovah, and who have not sought Jehovah or inquired of him. Hush, in the presence of the master of Jehovah, for the day of Jehovah is near, for Jehovah has prepared a slaughter. He has set apart his invited ones. And it shall be in the day of the slaughter of Jehovah that I shall punish the rulers of the sons of the sovereign, and all such as are clad in sovereign garments. And I shall punish on that day all who leap over the threshold, who fill their masters' houses with violence and deceit. And on that day there shall be, declares Jehovah, the sound of a cry from the fish gate, and of a howling from the second quarter, and of the great crashing from the hills. Howl, you inhabitants of Maktesh, for all the merchant people shall be silenced. All those weighing out silver shall be cut off. And at that time it shall be that I search Jerusalem with lamps, and punish the men who are settled on their dregs, who say in their heart, Jehovah does no good, nor does he evil. And their wealth shall become plunder, and their houses laid waste. And they shall build houses, but not inhabit them. And they shall plant vineyards, but not drink their wine. Near is the day of Jehovah, near and hurrying greatly, the noise of the day of Jehovah. Let the mighty man then bitterly cry out. That day is a day of wrath, a day of distress and trouble, a day of waste and ruin, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness, a day of a shofar and sounding against the walled cities and against the corner towers. And I shall bring distress on men, and they shall walk like blind men, because they have sinned against Jehovah. And their blood shall be poured out like dust, and their flesh like dung. Neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of the wrath of Jehovah. And by the fire of his jealousy all the earth shall be consumed. For he makes a sudden end of all those who dwell in the earth. Zephaniah chapter 2. Gather together, O nation without shame. Before the law gives birth, the day shall pass on like chaff. Before the burning wrath of Jehovah comes upon you, before the day of wrath of Jehovah comes upon you. Seek Jehovah, all ye meek ones of the earth who have done his right ruling. Seek righteousness, seek meekness, if so be that you are hidden in the day of the wrath of Jehovah. For Azah is abandoned, and Ashkelon laid waste. Ashdod is driven out at noonday, and Ekron is uprooted. Woe to the inhabitants of the seacoast, the nation of the Kerethites. The word of Jehovah is against you, O Canaan, land of the Philistines, and I destroy you, and I shall destroy you, so that there is no inhabitant. And the seacoast shall be pastures, shepherds' meadows, and enclosures for the flocks. And the coast shall be for the remnant of the house of Yehudah. They shall feed their flocks on it, At evening they shall lie down in the houses of Ashkelon, for Jehovah their Elohim shall visit them and turn back their captivity. I have heard the reproach of Moab and the revilings of the children of Ammon, with which they have reproached my people and exalted themselves against their borders. Therefore, as I live, declares Jehovah of hosts, the Elohim of Israel, Moab shall be like Sedom, and the children of Ammon like Amorah, a possession for weeds, a pit of salt, and a waste forever. The remnant of my people plunder them, and the rest of my nation possess them. This is what they get for their pride, because they have reproached and exalted themselves against the people of Jehovah of hosts. Jehovah shall be awesome to them, for he shall make all the mighty ones of the earth to shrivel, while all the coastlands of the nations bow down to him, each one from his place. You too, O Cushites, are to be slain by my sword. And he shall stretch out his hand against the north, and destroy Ashur, and make Nineveh a waste, as dry as a wilderness. And droves shall lie down in their midst, every beast of the nation, both pelican and bittern lodge in the tops of her columns. A voice singing at the window, ruin be it at the threshold, for the cedar work is exposed. This is the exultant city that is dwelling in safety, that said in her heart, I am it, and there is none but me. How has she become a waste, a place for beasts to lie down? Everyone who passes by her whistles and shakes his fist. Zephaniah chapter 3. Woe to her who is rebellious and defiled in the oppressing city. She did not obey the voice. She did not accept instruction. She did not trust in Jehovah. She did not draw near to her Elohim. Her rulers in her midst are roaring lions. Her judges are evening wolves. They shall leave no bone until morning. Her prophets are reckless, treacherous men. Her priests have profaned the set-apart place. They have done violence to the Torah. Jehovah is righteous in her midst. He does no unrighteousness. Morning by morning he brings his right ruling to light. It has not been lacking, yet the unrighteous one knows no shame. I have cut off nations. Their corner towers are in ruins. I have made their streets deserted, with no one passing by. Their cities are destroyed, without man, without inhabitant. I have said, only fear me, accept instruction, and her dwelling would not be cut off, all that I have appointed for her. But they rose up early, they corrupted all their deeds. Therefore, wait for me, declares Jehovah, until the day I rise up for plunder. For my judgment is to gather nations, to assemble reigns, to pour out on them my rage, all my burning wrath. For by the fire of my jealousy all the earth shall be consumed. For then I shall turn unto the peoples a clean lip, so that they call on the name of Jehovah to serve him with one shoulder. From beyond the rivers of Cush, my worshippers, the daughter of my dispersed ones, shall bring my offering. In that day you shall not be put to shame for any of your deeds in which you have transgressed against me. For then I shall remove from your midst your proud, exulting ones, and you shall no more be haughty in my set-apart nation. But I shall leave in your midst an oppressed and poor people, and they shall trust in the name of Jehovah. The remnant of Israel shall do no unrighteousness, and speak no falsehood, nor is a tongue of deceit found in their mouth. For they shall feed their flocks, and lie down, with none to frighten them. Shout for joy, O daughter of Zion. Shout, O Israel. Be glad and rejoice with all your heart, O daughter of Jerusalem. Jehovah has turned aside your judgments and has faced your enemy. The sovereign of Israel, Jehovah, is in your midst. No longer need you fear evil. In that day it shall be said to Jerusalem, do not fear, Zion. Do not let your hands be weak. Jehovah, your Elohim, is in your midst, is mighty to save. He rejoices over you with joy. He is silent in his love. He rejoices over you with singing. I shall gather those who grieve about the appointed time, who are among you, to whom its reproach is a burden. See, I am dealing with all those afflicting you at that time, and I shall save the lame and gather those who were cast out, and I shall give them for a praise and for a name in all the earth where they were put to shame. At that time I shall bring you in, even at the time I gather you, for I shall give you for a name and for a praise among all your peoples of the earth, when I turn back your captivity before your eyes, said Jehovah.